Gyokeres out, João Pedro back in, and double Arsenal defence. It's time to be a little bit more aggressive with my transfers. Welcome to my early thoughts, my transfer plans for Game Week 11. I hope you guys had a good Game Week 10, and that's where we're going to start. In terms of my points, it was a green arrow, so I'm fairly happy with that. And of course, the players that are highly owned, like Gabriel, you're happy when they get those big returns, but it doesn't matter too much for your team if everyone else has got them. So it was nice to have a differential win with Minter and his 9 points. We're not going to spend too long on my team. My rank is there, my points are there. I'm fairly happy with where I am moving forward, but I do want to get, I think, to double Arsenal defence. And we're going to go through 6 different scenarios today in terms of different options for my team, because my head is all over the place. I want to tell you my 6. I want to evaluate them. I want to talk captaincy. And there's a lot to get through in today's videos because I want to be aggressive with my moves. I'm fed up of waiting and rolling. We're going to get 5 free transfers for AFCON, right? We're only going to get 5 free transfers if we have no transfers in the bank. Let's not get to game week 14 and just start using 1 week punts. Yes, you can have some upside there, but you'll have bigger upside if you use them over a few weeks. I want to start using some transfers, I think, now. But first, let's look at the Captaincy Matrix or the fixture ticker from Fantasy Football Scout. You guys can check Scout out if you're interested. Brilliant free resource of so many tools. Do hit that like and subscribe button if you're new around here as well. Thank you so much for subscribing of late, and drop a comment. I'll answer all questions in today's video. So when we look at the Captaincy Matrix, I've just gone up to AFCON. I don't think there's any point moving beyond that because we're going to get so many free transfers. And then we just draw your attention straight away to Man City. Halfway down the ticker, I've put a question mark by Liverpool and Newcastle. Yes, we'll be captaining Haaland at home to Leeds. Probably Fulham away, but again, you could argue a question mark. Sunderland at home, I think we'll be captaining him, and maybe Palace away. So 2 of the next 6 weeks, definite. Maybe all 6, because it's Erling Haaland, but maybe not. Where do the alternatives lie? This is important when looking at our transfers now, because we might be looking to bring someone in game week 11 that we captain. We might be looking to create enough funds so we can bring someone in game week 12, like a Man United midfielder. You know, Brian Mbeumo is front of my mind. He's got Everton in game week 12. You could captain him then. And in 14, he's got West Ham. 2 good home games when Erling Haaland goes to Newcastle and goes to Fulham. Obviously, Liverpool and Mo Salah we need to discuss. Like, are we saving funds for Salah? Are we saving transfers for Salah? Do we want to get to Salah in game week 12 so we can captain him versus Forest at home, have him for Sunderland at home, have him for West Ham and Leeds away? Maybe we do. I'm not so sure I do. I think I'm okay going without him. Remember, he'll be a transfer out during AFCON as well. Not sure if I'm willing to restructure my team for Mo. Obviously, if you own a Forest attacker, Leeds at home, you could punt on Igor Jesus. We'll talk about him later. Arsenal attackers or Gabriel, maybe you can captain in 11 and 14 and 16. Gabriel and Saka are both an option. City we've discussed, but we shouldn't discount Chelsea. Like, could you bring in or captain a Chelsea attacker in game week 11 versus Wolves? Maybe new manager bounce, maybe not. Game week 12, they go to Burnley. Game week 14, they go to Leeds. There's opportunities there outside of Erling Haaland in those trickier weeks. So I just want to draw our attention to that because our moves, our transfers, part of that process is going to be who am I going to captain in the next few weeks? And checks notes, it's probably not going to be Erling Haaland 5 from 5 or 6 from 6. Yes, more often than not we'll go there. Not every week. Not every week at all. Guys, let's talk through my bus team before my 6 options of transfers I can make. Boy, there's a lot to talk about. All right, my bus team as things stand, I've got Pope in goal. Dubravka's benched. I've got a back 3 again of Gabriel. Kilman with a good fixture at home to Burnley, and West Ham shown some good signs at the weekend with their win over Newcastle, and Richards. Again, another 6-pointer from Richards. Lovely stuff. Benching Senesi and Mukiele. A midfield 4 of Saka, Semenyo, Sarr and Minter. Reijnders on the bench. And then Haaland, captain, with Mateta and Gyokeres. Am I happy with this team? Probably. Do I think I can improve it? And should I be aggressive with 3 free transfers and 0.1 in the bank? Yeah, I do. But the only way I can make transfers is if I sell Gyokeres. Really, because I need money to make the other moves I want to do. Let's discuss 3 players that are under strong consideration to be sold this week. Okay? In fact, let's do 4. There's 4 players that are vulnerable. And when we see the players that I'm about to suggest selling, there are these 4 players. First of all, Nick Pope. Nick Pope has been perfectly good for me. I think Nick Pope is a good option. He's got me some points in recent weeks. Yeah, last 3 have been bad, but I think in game week 7 he got me a clean sheet. Then it was a 2, a 3 and a 3. He goes to Brentford, then he plays Man City and Everton away, and then it's Tottenham. The next 4, Brentford, City, Everton, Tottenham, maybe you get 1 clean sheet. And then it's Burnley and the fixtures are maybe a bit better, but I'm not sure Nick Pope's going to get too many clean sheets. And I thought he was going to be that guy. He's getting save points, but I want the cleans. Do we need to move for a Raya? Well, we'll talk about that option later, because that is going to be one of my options amongst other moves within that option. Yeah, it gets messy. Kilman. I was disappointed with Kilman. I thought it was an error. I thought I've jumped early on a West Ham defender because I know West Ham are going to keep clean sheets under Nuno, and we didn't see it first few weeks. We didn't see it versus Newcastle, but we saw signs. They conceded to Jacob Murphy in the first 4 minutes. A great low XG goal from Murphy. Maybe Kilman's about to start producing, and maybe selling him is a bit too eager. Like, I could start him versus Burnley this week. And sure, moving forward, the fixtures aren't great, but he's very benchable. He's not in the first 11 much at all, but I would play him this week. So knowing I'd play Kilman this week, maybe I shouldn't be selling him, but could I convert him to an Arsenal defender? He's the only defender I'm up for selling. There's no way I'm selling Senesi, Richards, Mukiele or Gabriel. If I want double Arsenal defence, it's Kilman that probably goes. Maybe Raya's a solution. Reijnders. Again, not a start for Man City against Bournemouth. I think I wasn't surprised to see him bench. Cherki's back fit now. Cherki and Foden, number 10s. The sort of 2 8-10 hybrids. That's where Reijnders plays. Marmoush is now back fit. Reijnders is going to get loads of starts. But don't expect him to start for you every week. He's in this squad as an 8th attacker. And as my setup allows, he's currently an 8th attacker. So I'm very happy on Reijnders. But if I want that spot to be a starting spot, I could improve on Reijnders for sure. And then the other one that I could sell is Gyokeres. So that's 4 players that are vulnerable. Gyokeres, injury update, off at half-time. Probably going to get arrested. It's muscular. We don't know. Arteta probably doesn't tell us. If he's injured, I'm selling him. Kai Havertz is returning after the international break. Another reason to think about selling Gyokeres. The fixtures turn after Sunderland. Another reason to consider selling him. Another reason to consider selling these 9 million. The Arsenal defenders are matching him. They're a lot cheaper. His goal threat is okay. He put it on a plate twice for Saka in the first half. He very nearly had 2 assists. He created 2 big chances for Saka, which is so frustrating when you own both of them. I didn't get any returns from Saka, and I didn't get an assist from Gyokeres. 2 big chances. That combination, I just want to happen once. Do I give him Sunderland? I don't think I do. I think this was his last chance for me, and I needed the 90-minute proper good display. Worth noting, his goal was great. It's a tap-in. That's a tap-in in open play. You look at it and you go, yeah, striker, poacher. When it's from a set piece, you go, I'm a bit lucky. That could have fallen to Calafiori. It could have fallen to Timber. It fell to Gyokeres, but from a set piece, it's hardly like, oh, great positioning. When he scored 2 goals in the Champions League recently, it was exactly the same. Take away those set piece tap-ins, and he's not done much in terms of goal threat. So they're the 4 that could go. Pope, Kilman, Reijnders, Gyokeres. Could be any of those 4. Let's look at the 6 different scenarios of what I'm going to do with this team. But first, a shout out from our sponsor, FPRO. Guys, if you know a football-obsessed kid, get them this. It's such a cool product. This is way more than a training mat, right? This is an app training mat, step-by-step training program for your little one. If you've got a child that you're buying a birthday present for or a Christmas present for, I would have loved this as a kid. We talk about technical footballers, improving your touch. This is drills that you can do in your bedroom, but you can take onto the football field. It's a brilliant month-by-month subscription program if you want to opt in that way. You can go online, you can get 20% off with code GIANNI. You get your own coach. These are former footballers. These are UEFA certified. Like, it's a proper good resource to produce technically good footballers. I would have loved it as a child. Check it out. GIANNI for 20% off at FPRO. Scan that QR code. Back with the show. Okay, let's have a look at my 6 options. They all involve multiple moves. Some of them 2, some of them 3 transfers. Remember, I have 3 free transfers. I have 0.1 in the bank, and I want to be aggressive. If the plan is to wait for Mo Salah, and get him in game week 12, you don't want to be using too many transfers now. I don't think that's me. I don't think I get to Salah in 12. Therefore, I don't need to wait for 12 to make that decision. Let's use some transfers now and improve my team moving forward. I'm also seeing lots say, think about free hit and where free hit works into your transfer plans. I'd just say that free hit matters, but what matters more is the players you're buying for 5 or 10 game weeks. Buy the players you want for your team first and then see how free hit works around that narrative. But first and foremost, concentrate on transfers for your team long term. Not, I'm going to buy that player because I want a free hit in that window. I think that's the tail wagging the dog, as some might say. So look, first and foremost, option number 1, it would be selling Kilman and Gyokeres. And remember, I have to sell Gyokeres with a lot of these options. In fact, with all of these options, it's Gyokeres out, right? Because Gyokeres gives me money and an Arsenal spot. And most of them they all need money and most of them need an Arsenal spot. So Gyokeres out, Kilman out for Calafiori and João Pedro. So Calafiori comes in because money's tight. I couldn't afford Timber. I'd be 0.1 short of Timber, and Calafiori's a perfectly good option. Often misses the Champions League games. He plays the Premier League. He plays all the important games at left back. He's got some goal threat. And then João Pedro coming back into the team. How do we feel about that? I didn't really want to sell João Pedro. I wasn't sick of him. Some rage sold him early in the week last week. That wasn't me. I waited to the end of the week. I thought João Pedro was a perfectly good option with the fixtures moving forward. Now, the entry point for João Pedro is very, very nice. Like, you get Wolves at home. Arguably, he's captainable. Then you get Burnley away. You got Leeds in the next 4 games. I sold João Pedro at 7.5. I'd be buying him at 7.4. I don't regret buying Mateta. I think Mateta's better than João Pedro, but I needed to keep Gyokeres. I don't necessarily need that anymore. This is a legit option. Calafiori out, João Pedro in, 0.2 million in the bank that leaves me with, and 1 free transfer. Okay. Now, how do I see Chelsea lining up? Liam Delap is back soon, and that could affect João Pedro. We probably see Delap 9, João Pedro 10 eventually, but maybe Delap's not ready for starts for a couple of weeks. I'm not so sure, and I need more from Maresca on that. Option 2 is very similar. I'm getting João Pedro in for Gyokeres, but I'm getting an Arsenal defensive player in the form of David Raya. So Nick Pope leaves, and David Raya comes in. So it's the same as option 1, but with Pope out instead of Kilman, and Raya in instead of Calafiori. The benefit of option 2 is Raya is no worries at all. If you go and buy an Arsenal defender like Timber, maybe not. But if Calafiori, who's got quite a bad injury record, he's not the most robust, there will be weeks where he misses out or gets rotated. Raya's just going to be a set and forget unless he's injured, he starts. So you don't have to have that headache. Also, you could argue my squad has quite good defenders. I can play a Mukiele 1 week. I can play a Kilman 1 week, as I've got starting this week against Burnley. Do I need to go double Arsenal defence and limit those Arsenal defenders or those non-Arsenal defenders on the bench when they're just going to score me 6 pointers or have a good chance of it? So if I go Pope to Raya, Gyokeres to João Pedro, that leaves me with 1 million. 1 million in the bank to have a little bit of fun in the next couple of weeks, and 1 free transfer moving forward. I like option 2, I really do. Well, I'll come back and give you percentage chance on all of them in a minute. Option 3. Guys, by the way, thank you for your likes. It really helps the algorithm if you hit that button. And thank you, of course, for subscribing, as I know so many of you have of late. Really appreciate that. But option 3 is also getting rid of Kilman and Gyokeres. A bit like option 1. But this time, getting Timber in, because I could afford him, and going Delap. We spoke a bit about Chelsea. I don't know how ready Delap is. Let's see his minutes versus Karabag. Obviously, he was suspended in game week 10. He got sent off in the EFL Cup. He's back available for 11. Entry point of Wolves. If someone told me Delap was starting versus Wolves, I'd go there. He saves you money on João Pedro. He'd leave me with 1.1 in the bank and 1 free transfer. Delap is not going to be a 90-minute man for a while. But maybe that's okay. Maybe I don't need him to be, because he can still get goals against Wolves and Burnley. Delap's going to be a proper baller at Chelsea, I've got no doubt. But João Pedro is the safer pick because of the 90-minute appeal or the guaranteed starts. Again, I need more from Maresca to go through with option 3. I need to see minutes versus Karabag, and I need to hear positive comments in press conferences about Delap and his fitness. Option number 4 gets a little bit different. Remember, they're all selling Gyokeres, but option 4 sells Reijnders. And it gets you to a Man United midfielder. So Reijnders and Gyokeres out. Hello, Brian and Burmo. You were the most transferred in game week 10, and you're blanked. This is a good thing. Otherwise, you would have been the most transferred in again in game week 11. Bryan Mbeumo is still passing the eye test. He was still good versus Forest. He's got good fixtures, especially the home fixtures for Mbeumo. Like, I didn't like the entry point of Forest away. I didn't like it at all, actually. I said I think Forest probably get something, and they did. Game week 11 is Tottenham away. It's not as good as game week 12. 12 is Everton at home. But then you get, like, before AFCON, you get Tottenham, Everton, Palace, West Ham, Wolves. It's a good run of 5 games for Mbeumo. I can't afford Bruno with this setup. I'd be going Igor Jesus as well at 5.8 million. Just could be fun. Like, Igor Jesus, 5.8 million. Forest versus Leeds, good entry point at home. Could you go there? Maybe you could. That would leave me with 0.5 million, and again, the free transfer. And Mbeumo and Igor Jesus could be fun. I really rate Igor Jesus, and he's getting starts. I just need to know he's safe for starts. Early subs, I'm happy to suck up at 5.8 million. The only negative of this move is Reijnders at the moment is firmly 8th attacker. I'm happy to bench him every week. As soon as I bring in Igor Jesus, it's like benching dilemma. I'm having to bench players like Minter and Ismail Assar at times. Don't really want to do that, or Igor Jesus himself. So that's option 4. Let's go with option 5 with Mbeumo as well, though, shall we? It's Reijnders going and Gyokeres, but this time Kilman's going with them. So instead of buying Igor Jesus, we buy Krupi Jr., who again started versus Man City, remember? And even if he's not a starter, it's fine. He becomes the 8th attacker. Bryan Mbeumo is in too. And then I can still get a third Arsenal. Option 4 means I only have double Arsenal. Option 4 doesn't involve buying an Arsenal. It means selling an Arsenal. Option 5 buys an Arsenal. Calafiori comes into the building. Again, can't quite 0.1 short of Timber with that. 0.2 in the bank, 0 free transfers. For what it's worth, Calafiori is the same price as Saliba. I could just go Saliba. But at the moment, I'm veering towards Calafiori over Saliba. Just fancy him a bit more in open play. And Saliba's obviously had an ongoing issue. Timber's slightly better than both of them, I'd say. But again, you need a little bit more money for that. So that's option 5. At the end of these 6 options, I'm going to give you most preferred, and then we're going to drop them into the team. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Option 5 is using all your transfers. No free going into next week. I'll just have, next week's free transfer. But this would leave me with 0 free transfers and 0.2 in the bank and 3 moves. And then option 6. Option 6 is do nothing. Option 6 is give Gyokeres another game. I need to sell Gyokeres to get money out of him. But maybe Gyokeres versus Sunderland is fine. Let's see how Sunderland look on Monday night. I think my patience is gone on Gyokeres, and I think I want double Arsenal defence as soon as possible. If I do nothing, it gives me 4 free transfers and gives me that Salah route in game week 12. I've got to consider that, because Salah in 12 for captaincy. Remember we looked at that captaincy matrix? Maybe I want to captain Salah in 12. But as things stand, let's go back to my bus team. You see how I've got Kilman in here? I really want to start Kilman versus Burnley at home. I think I get a clean sheet and chance of DEFCON with Kilman. Like, you always get a chance of DEFCON with Kilman. Nuno centre-backs, we know from his time at Forest. Good for DEFCON. And actually, Todibo, Kilman's centre-back partner, went and got DEFCON versus Newcastle. Kilman didn't. He got 8. Todibo with a 13. I think I need to keep Kilman. And if I do that, it writes off option 1 and option 3. I think where I am most likely to go as I record this, I think Pope leaves. So let's go Pope out for Raya. Let's go with option 2. Gyokeres out for João Pedro. So we drop Raya in, we drop João Pedro in, and we also now have 1 million in the bank and an additional free transfer. 1 million, 1 free transfer going in to the week after. I think that's my most likely, but I could go any direction of those 6. Let me know in the comments what you think, and now let's talk about captaincy. By going option 2, it gives me the João Pedro captaincy option versus Wolves. I don't think I go there. I think Haaland makes sense. Haaland makes sense, right? I think he does. So I probably go in that direction. But yeah, it's, Erling Haaland again. Like, of course he gets points versus Bournemouth. He always does. I think that's the direction I'm going. Haaland versus Liverpool have been weak defensively. Like, Liverpool haven't looked great. Haaland went and scored versus Arsenal at the Emirates this season. He's been a different beast. Haaland's going to continue to get points galore. So I don't have to necessarily buy a captain for Game Week 11. but I think João Pedro in and Poping could be the move, and I really want to know your thoughts, so drop them in the comments. Guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe on the way out, and I'll see you very soon.